It's Monday, August the 9th, and I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times with news from Arkansas. Let's call our first news story the silence of the Republicans. Reporting continues on the tens of thousands of people who are going to lose coverage under the Medicaid expansion known as the private option in Arkansas. They got too short a window, 10 days, to prove their income eligibility. A lot of people didn't get the notice. There isn't a good appeal process. Reporting by David Ramsey on our blog, and it's been extensive over the last 3 or 4 days, and I urge you to take a look, shows that the state rules perhaps run afoul of federal law and how they've enforced this deadline on Arkansas recipients. They may get an appeal process, but in the meanwhile, people are already being denied their insurance coverage. That means they can't get their drug prescriptions filled. For some people, that could be in time of life and death situation, and I don't exaggerate when I say that. The silence from the Republicans is that nobody seems to care. Governor Hutchinson doesn't want to change the rules. He says, oh, we're going to add a few workers to handle the crush of calls, but that's about it. He won't change the deadline, not worried about conflicts with federal rules. To date, I'm not aware of a single Republican legislator that's raised any noise about this. These, of course, are people who had a lot to say about glitches in implementation of Obamacare at the federal level, and rightly so. There were problems. They ought to have the same degree of concern here. You have to conclude that they're happy that people are being thrown off insurance because it's money the state of Arkansas doesn't have to spend. Actually, it's federal money, not state money at all. Speaking of hypocrites, Donald Trump had quite a show during the Republican presidential debate last week, and then again over the weekend when he made a fairly crude remark about Megyn Kelly, the Fox News anchor, who'd given him a hard time on the air. Republicans who thought Donald Trump was really funny when he said he'd call Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig didn't think it was funny at all when he made fun of one of their people, Megyn Kelly, on Fox. I call that a double standard. Big news over the weekend dug up by Benji Hardy at the instigation of Governor Asa Hutchinson, who now calls the shots in the Little Rock School District through his education director, Johnny Key. It's going to be the end of Little Rock Teachers Union as a bargaining agent for Little Rock School District. They've been under contract. That contract will expire. They're going to allow the teachers union to continue to negotiate with school district officials on salary and some benefits, but work rules are out the window. All those things that pertain to the teachers' work day are now going to be solely in the control of the state. The teachers won't have anything to say about it. This is really the end of one of the last vibrant unions in Arkansas. It's not unexpected. The Republican administration hates unions, and they weren't likely to continue their recognition. The union was willing to make all manner of concessions to retain their bargaining position, but the state wasn't interested. Interesting story about another state bureaucrat, Alan Kerr, the state insurance commissioner. Arkansas Business has dug up through a lawsuit and FOI of records of the insurance department some pretty serious allegations made by Farmers Insurance about how Alan Kerr conducted his insurance business when he was an insurance agent and a state legislator. The case was resolved in Kerr's favor. A lawsuit in Lonoke County says that Kerr got special treatment because he was a legislator. Certainly, he was exonerated during a period of time when his vote was critical, and he came through with it, by the way, for the Beebe administration on the private option Medicaid expansion. Interesting report reported on the New York Times today. It's about something that Arkansas was a pioneer in. That is, in 2003, we passed a law that required schools to record children's weight and come up with a body mass index. This was supposed to encourage people to be healthier and reduce obesity. Arkansas has claimed that this and other efforts have put a stop to the growth rate in obesity in Arkansas, but this new study seems to say that these report cards have had no effect on adolescents, that bringing these things home just make for parents nagging at children, and you know how much effect parents nagging on children has. Not very much. I can testify that from my own experience. The state health department has announced that another fallout of money shortages in state government is that it's going to end its home health care program. This will put 1,500 people, some full-time, some contract, out of work. They say they will make arrangements to transition people who receive these services to private agencies. We hope so. Some details on that are awaiting. Tomorrow, Central Arkansas Transit, the local bus company, becomes Rock Region Metro. It's about a rebranding. It's a move toward eventually a vote on a tax increase to help support a bigger and better service. I think Little Rock needs a strong Metro Transit service. Branding will help. They're going to have new gas buses. They're going to go green, and that's a good thing. Finally, an interesting story. This week, the State Board of Education will hear an application from the Weiner people in the Weiner area in northeast Arkansas to create an agriculture academy. This is nothing more than a gimmick to reestablish a school district in a district that was too small to exist under former standards where we had a 350 student minimum. Now they say they're going to prepare students for that growth field agriculture, which needs fewer and fewer people because of the increase in technology allows fewer people to farm vast amounts of acreage. They want their school back. They want their basketball team back. Everybody loves to have a little local community school, and they're no different. But this is only one of many ways Arkansas has moved away from the move toward consolidation and efficiencies between charter schools, waiver of the enrollment requirement for certain other school districts. The consolidation movement seems to be dying if it's not entirely dead. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.